This video review is being brought to you by PrimeToys.net. PrimeToys.net, where you can get collector grade toys at not the collector grade prices. PrimeToys.net. And I'm a reviewer, so let the reviews be joined. Hey guys, this is your friend Dynamite here once again with you for another video review. And as you can see from what I got sitting out here, we're going to look at how to combine this wave of the Combiner Wars into Defensor, the Protectobots being in that category. They're not difficult. As you've seen in my previous reviews, I have reviewed every single one of these guys, so it's time to show them all combined to their combined mode of the Gistolf Defensor. We have them all laid out here. We got Legends class Groove. We're going to set him aside. We got Deluxe class Streetwise, Deluxe class First Aid, Deluxe class Blades, Deluxe class Rook, and Voyager class Hotspot. To combine these guys into Defensor is not very hard at all. If you've watched my previous reviews, I actually showed how to do each one individually. But we're going to do it, and I'm going to show them how it looks all combined and together. To start off, we're going to start, of course, with the feet. I'm going to take Blades here out of the way. And I'm also going to set First Aid out of the way, as well as we're going to move Hotspot here also out of the way. Because we're going to take Rook and Streetwise and put them into their foot mode. Mostly because in the G1 aesthetic, Streetwise and little Groove here were the original legs, but since Groove has been downgraded to a Legends class, or it's just he's basically been downgraded, and his body's been dethroned or rebuilt smaller or whatever into a Legends class. He's not going to be the leg. But Rook was brought in for this wave to become either an arm or a leg, but we're going to use him as a leg to take Groove's place for the time being. Most because this Groove will become a chess piece, but let's get on with it. Now, we'll start with Streetwise. Streetwise will become his left leg, which is, again, not very hard to do. As you can see, I put the combiner port pieces here on here, so I wouldn't get them mixed up. We simply will take this off. Flip him around. As you can see, you already have the peg hole down here at the bottom. You want to flip up, which I have no nails, so this is going to be a pain in the butt to try to pop. There we go. Raise the front windshield up. You'll then unpeg and rotate the back section here, or I should say back section, the front end of the car mode, and flip it down. Oh, come on, work with me. My peg on my, as you know, my peg on my Streetwise is really tough. You need to bend this all the way down like so. There we go. I actually need to sit and work with this port joint here to loosen it up a little bit. We'll straighten this out a little bit, and we'll flip this back into this position, basically to get it situated. You will then flip the combiner port here up to like so. Take his foot, or excuse me, his combiner mode piece here, his foot basically, and just peg it in like so. And here we have Defensor's right leg ready to go. If you want to have it this way, you can. I kind of like doing it this way. It's the way it shows in the book and your instructions and everything. It does to me, it looks a little bit better. Granted, it's not G1. It's going to be G1 sort of, and the positioning. And in the G1, he was more like this, but you will lose the knee articulation here for the bend. You'll bend forward, but it won't bend back like it needs to. But just for now, we're going to keep it like so. We're going to stand him back here, basically into position. We'll bring Rook in. Rook again is very easy as well. We'll unpeg this off. All you basically do for Rook is we'll rotate the combiner port here around, straighten it up. You can do a couple things, as I said in my review with Rook. You can unpeg this and straighten it up, which it does this kind of hinders the head does in this, and rotate that up into this position. This is actually the way it's supposed to go. And peg, you know, like so, and you rotate this up. This is mostly to balance it out with streetwise, as you can see there. Which this doesn't look too shabby at all. I mean, kind of looks weird, but it's still, and you just peg the, of course, let's put the foot back in there. As you can see, it balances it out and keeps it balanced with streetwise or whatever other combiner you're going to have for his foot mode. Is the reason why you have to fold this port up. You can put it the other way if you want to, and you can, like with drag strip, you can bring him in and have his, his tail fin area. It rotates up and down like this, and it can extend it. You can leave it down and give it a little bit more extension to make him a little bit taller. And you can use it with Rook to balance it out, you know, for feet. But for this aesthetic, we're going to put them like so. We're going to slide these guys back up out of the way just for a moment. And then we're going to bring in Hotspot here. With Hotspot being the body, we're going to just go ahead and bring him in to combine up with the legs. Transforming Hotspot is, again, very simple. Raise his ladder up. We're going to separate his legs out like so. Rotate them around. And well, it's easier. I find it easier just to unpeg and get it like you're going into his original robot mode, just to get it situated. Which I'm doing wrong. I do apologize for that. Let's not forget to raise this up. Come on, work with me. Rotate around. Which again, I am doing this backwards. I'm not rotating it like I should. Is that right? That's not right. No, wait, I am doing it right. I'm looking at it backwards. My bad. Next, you want to separate the arms. Rotate them down. Basically like you're flipping it into his robot form. But instead of straightening his arms out to this position, you want to rotate this like so. And peg it in up. Rotate his arms back up. Pegging it back in. Like so. Again, you peg it right like that. Before I forget, we do need to raise these out just to get the help give it the clearance to show off this piece here, because you will rotate and slide this down in position like so. Rotate the ladder down and around his crotch area. Flip it back around his back like so. And then straighten these back out. Flipping these back and pegging them right into there, and like here, peg that peg into there like so. And I've knocked that loose again. As you can see, there's a peg hole right there. Peg that in. You'll fold this down, fold these flaps down, rotate this around, and here we have Defensor in his head or his body mode. Also, don't forget to rotate these panels down to open up them combiner ports there. I'm just going to go ahead and slide streetwise into the port here, like so. And we'll do the same with Rook, like so. We'll slide him back, and we have Defensor almost complete. 3 of the 6 components done. We're going to bring in set blades and first aid into the picture. Blades again is going to be with streetwise on the right side of his body. So we'll just go ahead and get blades into his arm mode. Simply bring the combiner or the combiner limb piece here out of the way. unpeg and rotate this down, flipping this up, back into pegging it in right like so. We're going to rotate the blades up out of the way. I have to admit, I kind of wish there was a little thing right here, like this could slide up and down, where you could slide this in and lock it into place, just so they won't be waving around. Even though the tail fins or tail, fins here for the helicopter do kind of help hold it in place, but still, it's not too shabby. Next, oh, almost forgot to rotate. You got to rotate this down and around, but it does kind of help if you rotate the head around first, just to keep it hidden a little bit when you rotate it back down to get the combiner port up. But of course, with it being the arm, it's going to be in this position. I almost forgot to do this part. Unpeg the sides here to get the. Whoops! I always forget to do this when I do the split the front end of the blades, or excuse me, the cockpit up. Raise that up. Rotate the sides back around, basically like you're converting it back into his robot form. Peg that together. Bring this down. Bring this down. Pegging in. Don't forget to peg in the joints here. Not really pegging them in, but straighten them out to get it just right. Bring this up. There. That's combined. You want to rotate this around. Well, no, I'm sorry, wrong way. Rotate that up to there. Then a lot of people like to have the arms up like so, rotating it this way or this, either way, to get it up to here. Same here, rotate this up, turn it, and just to get the arms up out of the way. You can do it this way, or I'm just going to show this on the back end just to show how it does look this way. You can rotate the arm like so. Doing this, it doesn't really hinder anything, and it also, as you can see, it kind of gives you a little bit extra something to block the blades from rotating down or sliding down. As you saw, that one just kind of popped out right there. So just for this, I'm actually going to have it in that way, because I kind of prefer it this way. It does, to me, it looks just a little bit better. It gives them more of a flat shoulder, but it's what it is. I'm going to bring the combiner limb here, which it being the right arm. Going to rotate it around like so, and just stick it into this peg hole in the bottom of blades here. Almost called him Alpha Bravo, but he still kind of is. We'll turn Defensor around. Let me raise this camera up where you can see this just a hair. There we go. That should be enough. And we'll just take and combine them right into the combiner port right up here on the upper arm on the shoulder of Defensor, which I cannot get them in there because I can't see what I'm doing. There we go. There. Alright, now we're going to go with first aid. Let's bring the camera back down just to get first aid back into view. First aid is just as simple. We'll remove the limb part component there. You'll want to separate this out. Oh, almost forgot to. It's normally a little bit easier just to kind of get a little separation with the arm panels as well. You can even go ahead and pull the arms out if you wish, just to get that little bit of clearance so you don't feel like you're going to break the arms in the process of separating the rear end basically here to bring it down for his lower half. Which again, just straighten it out, peg it together. You can don't forget to rotate this back and down just to get some clearance out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and straighten the port out just to help give it some extra clearance. The front end locks into place basically. You can then straighten these back out. And there's a couple of things you can do with the arms. I prefer having it up and then swing it back like so, just to get them out of the way. You know, because if you unpeg it, it does kind of get the arms out of the way, gives you more clearance here in the waist and for the elbow and everything, like so. Once again, you want to rotate, make sure the head's rotated, which I did already had back. Raise the combiner port up in a position, and we'll bring, with him being the left arm, once again we bring this port out, flip this around, and here we have his hand. Peg this into place, and here's his arm. And now just to bring hotspot, or the rest of the Defensor I should say, into play, I'm just gonna, there we go. I'll ratchet it out just a bit, just give him a little bit more clearance for his arms to show. And we basically have Defensor 5 of the 6 spots complete. Pardon me for shaking the camera around, just trying to raise it up to show them better. And now all that's left is a little groove here. Not too much to do with him. I'm just going to convert him straight into robot mode, just to, well, not fully robot mode, but into his combiner mode. It's really simple. Rotate his arms into this position, like so. Take these, swivel. You want to swivel it where basically this little peg basically is sticking outwards. Do the same on this side. You're basically in the position you would be for vehicle mode, but you're just forcing it backwards. Panel come down. You then rotate the legs up like he's doing a side kick. You will turn right here at this section here, and you see this little peg hole right here. We'll peg into, whoops, I didn't have that turned. We'll peg into this peg here. You just turn it, and I'm going to keep it where you can see it there. You peg that in to rotate it, turn it up, and peg it in. You can see there. Now this is basically his chest piece. To get this in there, these little pegs here are going to, if you can see, if I can get it to catch right, try to get this in there. Like, yeah, there's a couple little peg holes in here, like right on each side of his piece here, right there. That's where they're basically going to peg in. And it's not really tricky. It does take a few times to get used to it. You might even unpeg the legs a little bit doing it, but I've already done that. As you can see, one of them's already unpegged. So just bear with me a moment while I get them in there. Get that side and that side, and then get that peg back in there. There we go. And there we go. Here we have Defensor all combined. I'm going to lower the camera back down just a hair, just to bring streetwise and rook back into it a little bit. And he looks not too bad at all. The only real problem I have is all this up here. As I said in my hotspot video, this does kind of seem kind of awkward. I kind of wish these weren't here. I mean, they do look great in the vehicle mode, and they work well for that. But this kind of does make it look a little weird. But he's still not too bad. And let's not forget to bring in his weapon, which is, you know, the combined mode of Hotspot's weapons, which we'll just basically just stick in the first aid, or excuse me, Blaze's hand there. Give him a big blaster. Not too shabby at all. I mean, it's really not. It looks fairly good. I honestly think, which he's kind of leaning there. There we go. Sorry about that. I honestly think of the 3 combiners that we've have, the Minosaur, Superion, and now Defensor. That Superion is really the superior of the 3. I hate to say it, but in my personal opinion, Superion is the best one of these 3. And Defensor basically being kind of the worst of the 3. I hate to say it, but he still looks good. I mean, he really does. He does have the G1 aesthetic to him. But it's still kind of iffy. Now, if you're a G1 aesthetic collector and you like Defensor, you like the Protectobot team, you know, I do recommend picking this guy up. You know, it's definitely worth the money for him. Because the combiners, you know, being the Scramble City and everything, you can use them for basically anything. Just turn it. There we go. That looks a little bit better. That way you can see them better. But I mean, it is what it is. Considering these modes are being reused again, I mean, we all know we're going to see the hotspot mode being reused again as as Onslaught. We're going to see the Blades mode as Vortex. I do believe the Rook mode is actually also in the TFCC club for oh, doggone it. What is his name? The leader of the Wreckers. His name completely escapes me right now, but he is being reused. Streetwise, of course, is being remolded or repainted as Prowl in this latest wave that we just got out. And First Aid got remolded again as, or not remolded, he was sort of he's basically a remold of Off-Road. So he basically is getting remolded as Ironhide as well, which also come out. And I do think one of I think he's also remolded as Trailbreaker in the newer wave that's come out as well with Skylinks. But there we have it, guys. This is Defensor. And, you know, again, if you want to get him, I recommend getting him. Again, like I said before, he's not my favorite of the 3 combiners we've got, but still, he's not too shabby. Where can you pick him up? Well, you can pick all of his pieces up from primetoys.net, where you can go on there, pick up all 6 pieces from them, and use the discount code TRANSMISSIONSEPTEMBER to get 10% off your order. Which Transmission September, of course, comes from the Transmissions podcast, which is also a relative fellow sponsor of PrimeToys.net. So please check them out, guys. The Transmissions podcast is a great podcast to listen to. It's very, very cool. They talk everything Transformers, comics, toys, pop culture news, movie news, anything you can think of, they talk about it. But once again, guys, this is Don. Before I sign off here, let's not forget for you to like, comment, and share this video. If you haven't done so, please subscribe. And also I'll post links below to my Twitter, Instagram, and my email account. If you guys want to send me an email, if you want to comment below, please do. Send me a tweet. You know, send me some comments on my Instagram where I try to post up pictures of what I'm reviewing that week and how it's coming out. So be sure to check it out, guys. But this is Donbot saying thanks for watching, and I hope to hear from you soon.